continuation of what we talked about last week, safety. In particularly safety regarding hiking. I'm not exactly sure why this became so important for me to talk about, but I really believe, that after watching some of the things that I have, like on YouTube and listening to the news and all of that might have had a little bit of influence on why I decided to take on this topic. I have noticed, that there's some people out there that are very safety conscious, however, there are some out there that I don't believe are quite as safe. And I've also noticed from a few videos that I've watched that there are some people that don't realize exactly how dangerous a situation can be that they're in. And it can end up so tragically. So that's that is one of the main reasons that I wanted to talk about safety. It's getting towards that time of the year where things are starting to warm up a little bit. However, you couldn't really tell today. I am frozen. It's just cold, damp, cold. And damp cold to me is the worst. Damp hot to me is the worst. So, anyway, to get back on to the topic of hiking safety, there's a lot of things I didn't talk about last time, and I didn't get into depth about the items that I talked about that should be in your backpack that you take with you when you're going hiking. One of the things that I realized right away was the ACE bandage. One thing, and another thing I didn't mention at all, is to make sure that you have the appropriate attire, including hiking shoes, hiking boots, whatever your preference is. Because if you do get on uneven ground or trip over something and you sprain or break your ankle or something like that, you're going to need something wrapped around that area to give you a little bit of support so that you can get yourself back to where you can get help. That is if your phone's not working. I understand that last time I said that you need a phone that's fully charged. Even when you don't have signal and you have your phone with you, if it's an emergency and someone is looking for you, it still might send off pings. You might not have cell phone coverage in order to make a call, but it still might be able to be a locator beacon for you. So back to the ACE bandage. If you take a tumble, you might sprain your hand. There's all kinds of different reasons why you might want an ACE bandage. like I was talking about the pads, I'm talking about the big square bandage pads. That will help keep that in place. The ACE bandage will, when you wrap it around that. Yeah, so hiking boots are very important. I have a couple of pairs of them. I have one pair that is so old that they're starting to come apart, but they are so comfortable and they work so well. I'm even thinking about taking them into a shoe repair place. So I haven't really decided if I'm going to do that or not, but I haven't found a pair that are quite as good as these are, and they're old enough that they might not make them anymore. So anyways, so that's important. I talked also about being very aware of your surroundings, and this is going to lead into something else I wanted to talk about. I didn't mention that you should have a flashlight with you. You should have a very good flashlight with you. One that lights up the area very well. I made the mistake one time of grabbing a flashlight that didn't have a wide beam on it. It was very narrow. It wasn't that powerful. And so the whole time that I was walking, which I was in a hurry to walk to the place that I was going. Some of you may have heard this story before. We were headed to a place where we were camping in a tent, and I had my 2 small children. My ex-husband and his brother came with us, and they were setting up the tent. It was a long drive. I needed to go find somewhere to go pee. So I decided to go, find a tree to hide behind, so I could go. And I was pointing my flashlight at my feet, and I walked right into a spider web. And it was not a usual spider web. Oh my gosh. It was one that was really, really strong. And it freaked me. It freaked me out so bad that my flashlight automatically went up. I saw this huge spider on that web, and I let out a blood-curdling scream. And my ex-husband and his brother came running to my rescue because they thought I was being attacked by an animal. When they asked me what happened, I flashed the light up at the spider web, and they were so mad at me. Oh my gosh. My ex just I can't believe you did that. You scared the crap out of us. We thought you were being eaten by an animal. Anyways, those people that know me know that spiders and me just, no. I just don't do spiders. So anyway, that was a time in my life that it was funny. We all laughed about it later, but in the beginning, you know, it just rattled nerves on people. But, you know, looking back at it, there were a lot of things that I did wrong back in the day. And one of them is we just pulled into this campground, which is a remote campground, and nobody was there. So we had like the whole campground to ourselves. This was like an end of the road type campground way out in the middle of nowhere. You know, there weren't any facilities there or anything. But, you know, I didn't think anything about the fact that in that area is known for bears. It's known for cougars. It's known for, you know, other things that you don't want to meet up in the night and bump into. Porcupines, skunks, whatever else is out there. So anyway, yeah. Just wasn't thinking. It was just, you know, I wasn't thinking. Let's just put it that way. Over the years of camping like that or out hiking, I really enjoyed hiking. I also did a lot of trail riding, basically alone. And, you know, I did have friends that occasionally I went riding with, but it wasn't on my own horse. It was, you know, one of their horses. But, yeah, there were a lot of things that I didn't take into consideration into areas that we went into. And where I had nothing with me, half the time when I rode Indian Ferry, I didn't even have a saddle on. You know, during the summertime, there was just no way that I was putting a saddle on her, because it was hot. We lived over in Central Oregon, and it's dry hot over there, but it's still really hot. Kind of got off topic there. So, while hiking, having the proper equipment, being aware of your surroundings, another thing I'm going to suggest is that you look up that area that you're going to be hiking in. There are several different places, like there's this place on Google Maps where if you pull up a place, it gives you a place where people have posted pictures, posted comments. Read those comments. Some of them are so very helpful, and some of them will let you know what their experiences were in the area, and you might consider preparing yourself for something like that. Yep. There's a lot of things to think about. And you can prepare for everything, and some things, you know, are out of your control. And so, in a situation like that, it's best that you think of the worst case scenario too, and what you would do how you would handle that situation. In the last video, I also mentioned to always let someone know where you're going, when you intend to be home or back to wherever you're at, just in case. Just in case the oh shit scenario happens. And yes, I said a bad word. Sorry about that. It's just something that you need to think about. I don't know how many others of you, I know a few of you are, but there's a few channels that I follow that are true crime based channels, and you would think that in the type of work that I do that I wouldn't follow channels like that because I get enough of it at work. But it's eye-opening. One of my favorites is a series that used to be, I guess it used to be on television, on Lifetime Movie Network or whatever that was, or A&E, and it was called I Survived. That one is so much better than the typical crime channel, true crime channel, because those people actually made it. They got away from the situation that they're in, and it's not all crime based. It's some of it is just, you know, a natural disaster, you know, or some kind of accident or something like that, you know. But others are, you know, where they escape somebody that had meant to do serious harm to them. That's another reason to be very aware of your surroundings, no matter where you're at. Hiking, usually people like that don't tend to be in places like that, but, you know, be wary of, you know, be a little wary of strangers. You know, I don't want to scare people away from doing what they love to do or anything like that. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is just so that you think about things so that you can stay safe. And maybe whoever is going with you. And they might not have the same knowledge. They might not have the same experience at doing some of this stuff or knowing some of this stuff. I know there was a whole bunch of other stuff that I was going to talk about regarding the hiking and everything. Oh, one other topic that I just popped in my head like a light bulb turning on, of course. I wanted to talk about animals in particular, like bear and mountain lions, cougars, whatever you want to call them. The one thing that you do not want to do is to panic and run. I know that people tell other people this all the time, but notoriously I see people that do that. Like in videos, or they tell the story about it later, about what they did. You don't want to run, but in most cases, you do not want to stand your ground either. If you run into a wild animal like that, hopefully you're prepared, but even if you're not prepared, you'll need to do what you can with what you have. Back away slowly. Just walk normal, but you really want to know, so you can continue to know where they're at. So you can't really just turn around and start walking away. That's usually not very good if you don't know that, all of a sudden they decided that they're going to charge after you. Another thing, about that is, before you go on your hikes, another thing that can help you is to also make sure that you read up about these animals and everything. And there are certain times of the year where you might want to avoid certain areas. If if there's been like a drought and there's no food around, and things like that, and it's getting towards the time where bears are hunting, or even cougars are hunting, and there's little food around, you really need to be careful, because they are a lot more aggressive during that time. They can be a lot aggressive at that time. And if they're looking, to fill their bellies because they haven't been able to find anything to eat, you're on the menu. So, anyways, that would be very helpful, though, is to make sure that you're not only aware of your surroundings while you're there, but make yourself aware of the surroundings before you're there. Research the area. Find out typically, what other hikers have learned from the area, and make sure that you read some that have gone around the same time period that you have gone to. It helps you prepare for the things that you might not have thought about taking with you. On this hiking trip. Even take a look at the pictures that other people have posted there. makes you aware a little bit more of the terrain. Yes, they can tell you in words what it's like, but sometimes you can read those words and not really get the whole gist of the idea until you're actually there and having to climb, or having to take this long hike somewhere and realize that something's closed, or there's all kinds of things that you could learn through going to these websites and doing a little bit of research before you go. And who knows, there might be some information there that might save your life. I feel like I've rattled on without a direction today, and it's really not how I wanted this video to go. I wanted it to be informative and to give you guys as much information that, I have. It's just that sometimes it feels like when I get out on the road and I get ready to talk, that my mind just goes. Of course, I do have to pay attention to everything that's going on around me. So sometimes that's a little sometimes that is more important than what I'm trying to do here, is make sure that I'm aware of my surroundings, especially when I'm driving. Well, you all, it has already been almost a half an hour, so I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm going to wish you all a great week coming up, and I'll see you next time.